right? Because
Yeah.
there's really that lack of just that lack of action really going on with anything.
Yep.
But, you know, we get, like, for example, we get a move like that with SOS. All right, cool. Let's trade it, right? Or we have I know Tesla had a big spike. We get a move like that, then, you know, let's trade it. But I think for today, yeah, market's feeling the pressure. 10 years at what? 1.75? 1.751?
Yep. 1.751.
Right up near these recent highs. So as that continues to rise, it could put more pressure on the market. Maybe we catch a short on the market, right? We look for opportunities there. But we're definitely going to need to be patient. I probably won't take a trade for the first 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes, depending on, you know, how the market's behaving.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely see. So, all right. So we're live with our recording. So good morning to everyone in the live trading room and everyone on YouTube. Just go ahead and help us out. Smack that like button. And hey, subscribe if you like the content that you see on our YouTube channel. And let's get right at it with our A-list for today. So I'll start off with Vtsi. I've been trading this in pre-market, shorted it, and made some good money. And it's a low float. They are gapping up due to an earnings report. And I think this stock could potentially get bought up. The key level that you need to look at is the $8 range. If this could break above the $8 range, that's where I believe we can go long. Put our stops at maybe $7. You just risk $1 per share. Maybe if you want to keep it tighter, $7.50. That's the trade that I see. This stock could potentially, if it breaks above $8, it could rally up to $9. If it could break above $9, which is where I see we've got a downward channel going on here. So let me expand my chart here. You can see I know only the folks on YouTube are going to see it, but for everyone in the live trading room, you can look up the Vtsi, pull up the full day so far, pre-market action until now, 5-minute time frame, and you can see that it's on a downward channel where the tops are at like $12.50, $11.50, and then you've got a top at like $9.15 and another top here at like $7.80, right? Those are the tops of the downward channel. So we need to break out of that. So if we can break out of the $8 range, this could be a good long. If this just fails pre-market low of about $7, just fade it. You can short it. The nice thing is that you don't need to find locates for this. At least on my system, I didn't need to locate it, so shorts were available, and it's pretty liquid. So I like it. Vtsi is going to be on my A list. Another stock that's going to be on my A list is PayPal. PayPal came out with some news that I think the news was that they have finally launched the cryptocurrency wallet, right? Or launching crypto checkout for its U.S. consumers. So I'm going to keep a close eye on this one. It's been trading really lightly in pre-market. PayPal is a large component of the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is under pressure. Let me take a look at the Nasdaq right now. Yeah, we're gapping down due to, I believe, what the 10-year yield. The 10-year yield is currently at 1.751. If we see the 10-year yield break out of 1.77, I think the market may sell off a little bit more. But so I bring that up because that's going to really affect PayPal, right? Because PayPal is one of the top 10 components of the Nasdaq. So if PayPal breaks below like 237, you can go in for a short. If it breaks above 239, go for a long. Right now it's stuck in that range, so I really wouldn't be caught up in that range that PayPal is in at the moment. So I'm going to keep PayPal pretty closely on watch because of that news of the crypto wallet. And of course, we've got, you know, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies on a nice rally. So maybe PayPal will trade as kind of like a proxy to that. We'll see. We'll see how the day turns out. Another name I want to keep a close eye on is Viacom, VIAC. Pull up a daily chart. Obviously, we've been trading this for a while now, but you can see the past 2 days, it kind of found support here at the 45 range. I want to see if today it gets bought up. You have some analysts coming out and saying that it is a buying opportunity that you know, and not a buying opportunity, but they're not saying to sell it. Pretty much the sellers have been exhausted. That's what I'm trying to say. And we could potentially see a bounce on Viacom. But the most I see on Viacom is probably $50. I don't see Viacom breaking out of $50, right? The setup right now in pre-market, if it breaks out of like 46.80 range, you can go long. Put your stops at, I would say 46. Give it a full 80 cents on it. And if it fails that, if we see it fail 46, we can go in for the short gap fill. This this turd of a stock that has been the past couple days. It's been a pretty good money making stock if you've been shorting it, so it's been fun. Another stock I'm going to keep a close eye on is Gamestop. Gamestop just made a strategic hire. I forgot the title of the hire, but it's another executive, apparently from, it seems like they're putting together a really good executive team. So this is good news that could cause a rally in GameStop. It's been trading pretty lightly in pre-market, so I would want to see GameStop break out of like 190 to go long. Maybe we could test pre-market high of like 193. Yesterday there was a high of 194, so if we break out of that range, then we can go on a good run, maybe to $200. But if GameStop fails like 185, go for the short. So right there alone, we're already talking about a 5-point range that we're in right now in GameStop. So if 5 points is a lot of range for you, trade it with small size. If you don't want to risk $500, don't trade it with 100 shares. If you want to risk just, let's say, $100, trade it with 25 shares. I'm saying that to give some perspective on how to trade it if you do want to trade GameStop, right? So always determine your risk for the potential reward and make sure that at a minimum you're getting a 1-to-1 ratio on the risk reward front. Jumia. I want to keep Jumia on my A list today because they had a price offering that was in the $38 range, and they completed the price offering. It's trading at $34, so it's trading below the offering. Got a little pop here. The chart looks a little messy in pre-market, but if I see Jumia kind of reclaim $34.50, we could potentially break pre-market high of like $35. Go long, right? If Jumia just fades, look for like the $33.50 range to kind of short it. Put stops at 34. No need to risk more than 50 cents per share. Today is not the day where I'm feeling aggressive. I'm going to be trading really light today, just because the pre-market action is really low, and also the market's just going sideways. So I'm just going to be trading light today. Virgin Galactic is going to be another one that I'm going to watch on my A list. So Virgin Galactic, the CEO, is coming on CNBC at 10 a.m. Eastern. Let's keep an eye on it. If at 10 a.m. Eastern we see some volatility, we can trade it. At the moment, I really don't see much. It's just flat on the day. It did sell off, rebounded, it's flat. So, not excited about it, but let's just keep an eye on it once the CEO comes on TV. Another stock, VIPS. Closed yesterday at $28.47. It's gapping up to $30.25. It's flagging. It's holding this flag here. So if we could see it break out of $30.40, we can go long and put our stops at $30. We're risking 40 cents on the trade. If we see it fail $30 and come down to $29.50 and we see just really bad weakness on it, go for the short. This is one of the names, pull up a daily chart. This is one of the names that has been hit really hard. 5 days ago it was trading at $46 and now it's down to $30. So just keep that in your mind, on the back of your mind while we're trading this one. Other than that, guys, let me see here. One other name. I'm gonna keep Baidu on my B list. I'm gonna keep Apple on my B list. Apple. The reason why for Apple is because one of their suppliers reported earnings and gave some forecast and didn't do too hot. So Apple is getting a hit because people are already worried about the slowdown of their products and sales. So just keep an eye on Apple. And that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for me. So Taj, pass it on to you, bro.
Oh man, I came back in the perfect time. My mic cut out for a second, and I couldn't hear you either.
Oh,
so
am I having mic
came
issues
back
again?
as soon as you. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I completely agree with Alex. The market is very, very flat today. Like even a lot of the names that I'm going to be mentioning, I'm not necessarily excited to trade, right? Like, there are going to be names that I'm keeping an eye on, but I'm in no rush to get into them. Essentially is what I'm saying, because I'm not as, there's not as strong of a conviction to take any direction on these trades. But they have been some of the more active trades, or the more active stocks. So with that being said, one of which I am going to be keeping an eye on the Russell 2000, the IWM. The main reason is because looking back at yesterday, the Russell 2000 really took a beating from a technical perspective. It's trading below its daily 20-period moving average. It got rejected off of its 8-period moving average as it crossed the 20-period moving average. And as you know, that's one of our go-to plays on an intraday basis and works really well on the daily chart as well. So what I see happening with IWM as of late, it did catch a little bit of a pop, but it's still trading pretty much flat on the day. It closed right at its lows yesterday, and I think there's a good chance, especially if you start to see the yield start to rise, the 10-year yield, you start to see the SPYs, the Qs feel a little more pressure. I think it's also going to have an effect on the Russell. So with that being said, if the market does look weak, one of the first names we're going to look to short is the Russell. So for me, I would like to short if it starts to trade below 214, possibly throw stops around 214.70, 214.80. If we do start to break down, the next support is going to be around that 213 level from the pre-market data. If that gives out, the IWM is in trouble. The Russell is really in trouble. On the daily chart, there's really no support until 208. If I go more so on an intraday basis, there's going to be support right around 212.50, and then after that, 208. So there's really room to the downside for this to, start to tank if these levels start to give out. So I will be keeping a very close eye on the Russell, especially out of the gates here. Another name I'll be watching is Bioc. They reported earnings, did better than expected. Actually had a really rough day yesterday. It closed right at its low day. It's a very cheap name, only did about 3.3 million shares, but it's gapping up pretty aggressively. Gapped up to about $7.30. Currently it's trading around $6.45. So it's one of the top stocks on my radar list. The volume is kind of meh, but it is setting up for a potential rebound here. So if it starts to break above 660, you could possibly throw stops around 630 and see if you can test 680, maybe even $7. But this is a name, again, it's a cheaper name, it's a small cap name. If it starts to build some momentum, we could possibly get a run on this. So keep an eye on this, just kind of on your radar to see if we can, catch a pop on this name. Another name I really want to watch is DraftKings. I don't know if you guys have seen the daily chart on DraftKings, but this thing has just been getting beaten up. They did come out with some news today, if I'm not mistaken. Multi-platform betting broadcast and content company. So they acquired Vtsi. It's a sports betting broadcast and content company. So obviously DraftKings is within that business, so that's going to, assumingly increase, some of their business or performance of their business. So with that being said, this is good news for DraftKings. DraftKings is gapping up about $1 after that pretty aggressive sell-off yesterday, and it's just been trading flat for the most part. But what I like about DraftKings is it's starting to get a little oversold. It's not necessarily oversold on the RSI. That's still closer to 40, but from a technical perspective, it is starting to touch the lower portion of that Bollinger Band. DraftKings does have good news coming out, right? They are expanding with some of the partnerships and acquisitions that they're having. So it's not like they're, just sitting around doing nothing, right? So if you believe in DraftKings, I mean, this could potentially be even a decent swing trade, as long as the market's not in, real trouble here. So with that being said, I'm going to keep an eye on DraftKings just to see if this news, as the market opens, starts to build up some momentum. I would wait for some type of pop to look for any type of entry. I wouldn't take any entry off the pre-market data because the pre-market data is pretty choppy and pretty light. But again, just a name to keep an eye out of the open. One of the last names I want to keep an eye on is Vtsi, Discovery Communications. So this was a part of, similar to Viacom. This is a stock that was beaten up because of the hedge fund that went under. But the nice thing that's happening right now is this name actually got a really big pop here around 8:45. I didn't see any specific news related to it as far as why it's rising, but nonetheless, it rose on volume, nice volume spike, and it's actually bull flagging here. So what I would like to see is it to break above 43.12, 43.11. Look for a long. We can throw our stops around 42.70. You're looking at about a 40-cent risk. And the thing about this stock is that it has a lot of room, right? This is a stock that's been beaten up from $78 just a week ago, and now it's trading down at $41. So who's to say we can't see 42, or trading at 43? So who's to say we can't see 44, 45, maybe even 46 level if it really starts to pick up some momentum? So I'll be keeping a close eye on this as well. This is probably one of the better setups that I see out of the gates from a chart perspective. But again, like I said, today I'm going to be very, very patient and picky to see which opportunities are going to be coming right out of the gates. Like I said, for me, I'll be waiting at least 5, if not 10, 15 minutes to take my first trade. And that's considering, if I see some type of pop on one of these names or a pop on our radars. So with that being said, that is going to be, pretty much the names that I'm watching. But a lot of the stocks that Alex mentioned earlier, the VTSI, I really like. VIPS is another one, Viacom, Gamestop. Oh, and then lastly, obviously Tesla. Tesla just released that news. Alex linked it a little earlier that they may be working on a future partnership with Toyota. So because of that news, as soon as it came out, Tesla was trading a little below $600 and had a nice pop up to about 604. So keep an eye on Tesla. Tesla's another name that is getting beaten up here. If it really starts to rebound, trades back above, 604, 605, possibly look for some longs. However, if it starts to break below 600, Tesla could be in real trouble. Looking at the daily chart here, if it really starts to break below 600, breaks below 595, which is that pre-market low, I think you'll see Tesla come down to that 580, possibly even 570 level, right here where the lower portion of that Bollinger Band is.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's pretty much going to be it for my watch list. But like I said, guys, let's be patient today more so than any other day we've been. Just because things are very light today, and those A1 setups just aren't there as they've been in the past.
Yep, 100% agree, man. So, we got 3 minutes left before the market opens. So for everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you all later.